All right, testing, mic check, 1, 2. This has got to be the 4th, 5th, maybe 6th time that I've filmed some content for the channel. And I mean positive content for the channel, but what's happened is somehow magically my footage has been deleted again because of cyber security and motherfuckers that are hacking my shit. Y'all can suck my whole dick, all homo. I don't give a fuck. But all of this yesterday, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, all of this land here, all of this was not landscaped. There were some tall trees here. Today, as you can see, there's some new landscaping that was done. But this was my issue yesterday, 2 days ago. Today, you can see a lot of the debris was removed. But before we even get that far, let's start over. All of this is now beautifully landscaped. My point with this park right here, Archer Avenue and 138 Place. Number one, right? Number one, you have an ADA ramp right here, right? ADA curb cut, drain. Fuck this right here. You wanna know why? Because this is only 5 feet wide. And that's not enough for a wheelchair, but let me see here. 1, 2, 2 3/4. Howard Von Dohlen Playground. You got I don't even know the math here, but the point is, obviously I'm agitated because motherfuckers keep pushing my motherfucking buttons like I won't choke them to death. But anyways, New York City, I think 2016, Parks Department came out with a concept called Parks Without Borders. When I met the landscape architect at the so-called Andy Kessler Park, 108 Riverside Skate Park, one of the key things he was pointing out as a landscape architect and as myself an architect pursuing a career in landscape architecture, I said, let me listen to this guy. His concept for Parks Without Borders was a concept of accessibility, safety, visibility, and it was also about access for first responders to get into and out of places that were more or less difficult to access, right? So here we are today, and we have a space and a park that is adjacent to the Long Island Railroad. You have JFK Airport and the air train very close by. That busy highway right there is the Van Wyck Expressway. And this is another thing I just wanted to point out. This gentleman is running for his basketball because what happens when you have entrances designed like this is things fly into the street and you have children that run into the street, right? I myself am someone who has used this park numerous times throughout COVID, delivering food as a place to come, take a break, take a smoke, play handball, play basketball, attempt to skate. But let's just get into this bullshit and just walk the park, right? So the point is you got 5 feet of clearance on this sidewalk, and I'm suggesting that we get rid of these red bricks because they are falling apart and they are dilapidated. The other issue with these bricks in some areas is that they could be upcycled. I love a red brick bank similar to the Brooklyn banks. I think it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing looks and feels to skate on. So I would definitely go that route. There are tons of new trees planted in this park. So yes, there is some progress. But I think this is a park that could definitely use with removal of a majority of the exterior infrastructure. If we remove this entire brick fence along the exterior, we give ourselves how much room? We give ourselves almost 1, 2, we give ourselves about maybe 2-3 feet. Depending on how far we go. These bricks here are 8 and 8, so that's almost 16 inches. But if you did it this way, you've got 8, 8 and 8, so that's 24, that's 2 feet. And maybe you stop it right at this point, right? All right, let's just get into the park. I'll try to make it snappy. Again, I did this 2-3 days ago, so I'm doing it all over again. I think this is interesting. I think these half courts are cool. Again, basketballs keep going into the street. I think this track is pretty cool. However, I think that this fence and this post should be moved over because again, you don't get to enjoy a proper game of basketball. You have to keep running left and right to get to what you're trying to do, right? This is the little skate park. Little tiny skate park. Not much going on here. There's a hole in this fence that should be repaired. Again, if we get rid of this whole fence, the whole steel, all of the bricks, we could do something better. We could repurpose it. If I get up here, you can see what I'm talking about. You get a better view that way. Just give you guys a quick 360 of what's happening. All right, so obviously this, you got kids in a play area, it's gonna be dirty. So this is not an issue at all. It would be nice to see some clean vegetation, but honestly, that's the best we can do. I think as far as this skate park, I think honestly, the skate park is a good example for what you can do in a very small, tight space, tight curb, tight corners. So let's just take a quick look at what we got here. Gonna make my way around the drain. This area obviously needs a little TLC, but it's okay so far. All right. This area here, you have tons of children playing. There's a water fountain. There's this infrastructure. Could use some love, but so far so good. These are your water mains here. These probably, I feel like in every park, these come right up. I don't know why, but almost every park I go to, these are loose. So far, this is the second park I've checked where they actually come up. Let's take a look at the trees, the canopies. We've got probably 40-foot tall trees in this park, which I think is some of the tallest trees I've seen. Some of these branches are dead and need to be, some of these over here are dead, need to be cut. Another new tree. Green roof. Trash. We could use a tree right here. Again, if you look at this fence, how rusted it is, right? This steel fence, like this whole fence should come down. You got your fire and police pull box. I think more parks and locations should have more of these issues, right? Again, look at this infrastructure right here. Like this is just aching to come down. Collapsing right here. I don't know where the caution tape is. Bada bing. Right, so that's this sidewalk. I think this is interesting. A couple days ago when I was here, I did not see any of these, but that's still pretty cool. I've never seen the street sign this far in from the curb, but as you can see, 138 Place, 91st Avenue. This is pretty cool right here. Doggy bags, but obviously there isn't any. So having that there is, to me, fucking completely pointless and stupid if there is no specific space for dog walking. This might be the most ideal, or a little section in this area. I find this area needs the most love and care, right? That green roof though is a blessing. So yesterday I was here and both restrooms were wide open. What I can tell you about this restroom is that the women's restroom gets used more than the men's restroom. Statistically, there are more women than men in the world, so therefore there should be more female restroom stalls. The women are the ones taking care of the children. There's a baby changing station in this women's restroom that's falling apart, but if you go into the men's restroom, the baby changing station is damn near brand new. So food for thought when redesigning these parks and these restrooms. make the women's restrooms larger or make them all unisex or make the baby changing stations and hand washing stations communal or what's the word I'm looking for, unisex. Right, so we got new trees, which is good. New trees. All right, new trees. Obviously, there needs to be some cleanup over here. New benches, new picnic areas, new everything. This is a bit of a workout section, right? Give you guys a quick 360. I don't know if this light works right here. We've got the flagpole in the distance. This is a separate thing, but this is design theory. Again, I started learning how to do tricks on my skates, grinding on obstacles like this in the workout section because it was padded. I would come and I would just hop, stall, hop, stall. So I think that's great ideas for designing skate park elements. I think this feature here is pretty cool. Jump to touch, high jump feature. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that was clear. Is that clear? No, it's not. You can't really see it. Shit. All right. All of this obviously needs some love and some landscaping. Again, we come to this section here where you have this electrical plant and you have a 5-foot wide sidewalk, which I think is the minimum for New York City. But then you have a lamppost. You do have the 3-foot clearance, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, just about 3 feet. So you got the 3-foot clearance, but then you've got a, what do you call this? You call this a steel grate. You've got a steel grate, which is not ideal for wheelchairs and for people with, let's say, a walking cane or handicap. However, you do have the main entrance over there, and then you have that shitty entrance over there. So that shitty entrance is a dub. This entrance is essentially a dub, so technically you end up with only one entrance. And if I walk further down this way, you'll see that the brick is falling apart. You'll see there's tons of needs for repair here, right? Technically, this is a trip hazard, whether this is a trip hazard for even able-bodied individuals. All of this is falling apart on this side, which is the, I guess I could say east or west versus the east side. So this is something else that needs some love. I think this tree right here is gonna need some love soon. I really want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. Parks without borders. Last but not least, right? We're gonna hit the handball courts, circle back, hop on the bicicleta, and then get the fuck up out of here. But yeah, this post, why not have it to the edge? Because you kind of ruin the fun of the game if I have to keep running way off of the court, and if my ball is interrupting people participating in another activity or sport. Like, make it make sense is all I'm saying. So these are all spots I've been to a lot during COVID. This handball court in particular, oftentimes I would come here and this particular gate would be locked. Is that when you design a handball court like this, right? And then the restrooms are off limits. We're gonna, you know what? We gotta circle back to the men's room if it's open. But I would pee in this corner, I'd pee in that corner. There's a ton of broken glass over here. And this is what happens. Focus. Broken glass, right? So this is what happens when you have a space that isn't being used or when it's tucked into the corner. So all I'm saying is design it a little bit better. What I love is the fence along the top. And the basketball court, when you're shooting, guess what? The ball goes over. The ball constantly goes over. So why not have the fence also on the basketball court? But yeah, people have defecated here, pissed here, shit here. People, including myself, right? Yeah, that I mean. And we're gonna hit the restrooms. We're gonna cut through the court. I'll tell you what I love. So I'm giving you both the good and the bad. What I love about this court more than most courts is that a lot of basketball courts in most parks have tree coverage directly above the court. right? So wherever there's tree coverage directly next to or adjacent a basketball court or handball court, you have a lot of debris falling on the court. If I could design these things in a way where there are no trees covering the court, you are less likely to have branches, leaves, and debris scattered on the court. So that's just one thought. Let's just take this ADA ramp. This is another section here that could use some TLC, right? This entire garden area, similar to that side. You see how that side is there's very little vegetation, if that makes sense. There's very little vegetation here. Here looks like it's a little overgrown. I just want to take this ADA ramp, see how it works. This is pretty wide. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is almost 5.5 feet. This right here needs some love. This whole garden right here needs some love. And this is the men's room, just so you have an idea of what we're dealing with. Men's room, clogged, flooded, very, very heavily used restroom, right? Baby changing station also needs fucking serious upgrades, but still has the brand new paper on. If you saw the baby changing station in the women's room, you would vomit, right? All of the sinks work. When I checked them 2 days ago, all of the sinks worked. The soap dispensers were full and functional, and the blow dryers were functional. If I could add one thing, it's proper ventilation, and I think that is all.